Hi guys, it's Carrie with Creatively Carrie, and I am here tonight doing a live tutorial. I'm going to show you how to create a sunset, and I have my 11 by 14 canvas here on my easel. I also have my palette, which is a paper plate, and so I have my colors, which are the black, blue, red, yellow, and white. And these are the basic colors that we're going to be using for our painting tonight. So, sorry, I got a little hiccup there in my head. Okay, so we are going to be using those 5 colors, and then of course I have my water reservoir, where I'm keeping my water to rinse my brushes, and I have my 3 brushes that I'm going to be using for tonight's process. This is a flat brush, okay, so this is the one I'm going to be using. I'm going to also be using a round brush, okay, so I don't know if you guys can see the round part there. Maybe there it goes. And I have also a small round brush. And for those of you out there who might be interested in the numbers of these brushes, my large flat is a number 12. My medium round is a number 6, and my small round is a number 2. Hi, Julie. How are you doing? Thanks for joining. Hi, Donna. I see you. Awesome, guys. If you're just popping on, type in your name there in the comments and let me know who you are and where you're watching from. That would be great. So again, I've got my 11 by 14 canvas. It's ready to go here in my easel. And then I have my palette, which is, again, black, blue, red, yellow, and white. And if you're going to be using your own paints, you only need about a quarter size of each of those colors, okay? What I also happen to have is a paper towel just in case I need to dry my paint or anything like that. So, Julie's hanging out in her art room. That's awesome. Yeah, I'm in my art room. I'll let you in a little secret. I'm in my PJs. But for you guys here, I am going to show you how to make or paint a sunset scene. So this is what I had posted online. And so just going to talk about a little bit about our sunset. So first of all, you want to decide where your horizon line, anytime you do a sunset or a sunrise, you're going to want to decide where your horizon line is. And just a quick little tip, it's always a good idea to have that horizon line either slightly below halfway or slightly above halfway, just depending on your the way you're seeing it, the way you want it to come out. Okay, that just kind of creates a pleasing visual way of looking at a sunset. Okay, the other thing is about your sunset, the sky, the top of the sky is always darker than what comes down to the horizon line. The horizon line is always going to be lighter, and so this will be darker, this will be lighter. Okay, now having said that, where I'm going to start with is this yellow section back here, because it is my lightest color and it is my purest color. So I don't want to get this muddy with any of my other colors yet. I want to keep this as pure as I can. Okay, so that's where I'm going to start. Okay, so I'm going to pick up my large flat brush, okay, and I am going to dip this brush in some water. I'm just going to get the bristles wet so that my acrylic paints will move around a little bit better. And I am going to take some of this water and I'm just going to coat this area here with some water. What I'm doing here is I'm prepping this surface to take the paint so that I'm not using a whole lot of paint all at once. So here we go. Okay, so I'm just using a little bit of water, and I'm going to coat this surface here. And then I'm just going to pick up some yellow paint. I'm dipping this brush kind of straight down into my yellow, and I have both sides of my brush with the yellow. And as usual, I'm going to kind of decide where my horizon line is. I am going to bring it down a little bit, so I'm going to probably come to, say like right there. And I'm going to just use this brush to pull this line across from edge to edge. And what I have a tendency to do, I've been noticing, is I usually go down further on one end, so it kind of veers off. So I'm going to kind of take a look, see here for a second, and I'm going to pull this edge up because I can see it definitely dips down there. So I just want to make sure that it's not going to, there we go. Okay. So I'm going to get a little bit more yellow. And what I'm going to do is I'm now using the flat side of my brush. So in other words, the brush is vertical to my canvas. And I'm just going to work this up towards the middle. Okay. And if I if you want, you can paint the sides. I tend to paint my sides of my paintings just because I like to have that nice finished edge, and I don't have to put a frame on it to do that. Okay, so here we go. So I'm going to continue to work this yellow paint upwards here. Kind of just make sure I'm painting the sides. And so now is about the time where I'm going to start to decide, you know, if I'm going to add some red in here. And I think I'm about to that point where I'm going to add some red. So instead of washing my brush, I'm going to leave the yellow paint in there, and I'm going to just pick up a little bit of red on top of that yellow, because what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be blending my sunset here on my canvas. And so I want my paint colors to work together. So again, I've got some red paint on my brush. I'm using the flat side of the brush, and I'm going to just come right here. Okay. Now, the thing about acrylics is they blend when they're wet, and right now it's a really good time to start working this edge where they meet, these two colors meet. Just keep continually taking my brush back and forth until I get a nice little orange glow going here. Okay, and again, you can follow that up with the sides. Okay, so I'm going to grab a little bit more red now, and I'm going to come above that red, and I'm just going to keep adding some red, because remember, our sunsets, anytime we're doing a sunset, the top of the sky is darker than the horizon. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and finish this part out. All right, and again, painting the edges can always be a good thing. All right. Now, the original that I showed you a few minutes ago has just the yellow and red sky. If you wanted to, you can take just a touch of blue and add it to this top section and make that kind of a violet. So I may do that here in just a second, but I'm going to also work on this section right here just a little bit more. I kind of want to really have this be a little bit more a blended area and have it transition a little bit softer here. So just keep in mind that you can continue to take the brush, and I'm going to pick up a little bit more yellow, and overlap your color and just continue to go back and forth with that same stroke. And then there you go. You'll start to notice that you have a transition going on. We go from that bright yellow to the orange to the red. Okay? Again, remember that this is really done best when the colors are wet. As soon as the paint starts to dry and get a little bit tacky, it's not going to blend quite as well. So you're going to get frustrated with that. So again, just keep in mind the acrylics need to be moist for this process to work. So I went ahead and rinsed my brush, cleaned it, got most of the red out of there, and then I am going to once again grab some pure yellow here, and there's just a little bit of this edge I want to soften even more. Okay, and you can do this as many times as you need to get it to the way you want it to look. Okay, all right. So since my sky is so moist, I'm going to do my little violet trick up here. I'm going to change this one up, make it a little bit different. I'm just going to add just a little bit of ultramarine blue. This is ultramarine blue, a dark blue, just a little bit. You don't need a whole lot because this color is pretty strong. And once again, I'm going to overlap using the flat side of the brush, and I'm going to continue to work this color into the red color underneath, and then you can start to see the violet is going to start coming out. And again, you can do this as many times or as much as you like till you achieve that look that you're after. Okay, you take it down a little bit. So we have this really nice kind of gradation going on from the violet, the red, the orange, and then the yellow. Okay. When people paint, everybody paints a little bit differently. So if you're doing this painting and you're feeling frustrated because your yellow isn't exactly where my yellow is, or vice versa, don't worry about that, because the idea here is to get the color on and to blend them together. And wherever they blend, wherever they come together, that's gonna, that's where it's gonna be. Okay. Okay. So the next thing I wanted to do is I did have the silhouette on this original one, right? So we had the black silhouette here. So I am going to go ahead and add this in here on mine. So once again, I've rinsed my black brush, and now I'm going to pick up some black paint, and both sides of my brush are coated. Okay. And what I'm going to do is now I'm using my brush horizontal to my canvas, and I just want to pull along the line here of my ground, where my ground is going to be, and I want it to be just a little bit above this line. I want to cover up my yellow, so I just want to make sure that this is okay. Now I want to, again, I'm kind of stepping back because I want to make sure that my horizon line has not just suddenly gone south. I think this is a little low, so I'm going to bring it up again. Okay. And then once I have this line in place, I am just going to use my brush vertically again, using the flat side with black paint, and pull it across underneath that line. You don't want to get in too big of a hurry with this, because obviously you want to try to, control that line and how many whoopie woos it gets in it. That's an official term, by the way, is a whoopie woo. Now, my line may look fairly straight there, but trust me, it's not. I need a ruler to make a straight line. So if it's, slightly got some little ups and downs and has its own little personality going on there, that's great because the ground outside is not perfectly level. It's not perfectly straight. So I'm just going to take a second here and fill this in. Okay. So I'm also going to keep up with my sides since I've been doing that. I'm going to make sure that the edges are going to be nice and clean. Keep in mind that painting your edges, painting the sides of your canvases is such a personal thing. It's totally up to you. There's no right or wrong way. All right. So now I had that big sun. There was a big sun in this sunset. And we can add that in there, which I'm going to do here in a second. But again, in the infamous words of Bob Ross, this is your world, your painting, and you can make it any way you want. So if you want to leave out the big sun, you can. But I'm going to show you how you can put one in if you want to. You can also put in a small sun if you don't want to do like a half circle sun. You can do like a full circle sun, maybe, a smaller one down at the horizon line. So I've rinsed my large flat brush out, and I am picking up my round brush. And I'm going to get the bristles wet. I always recommend before you put paint on your bristles of your brush that you dip it in moisture. It just helps prepare everything on the brush that way. So for my sun, I want it to be a little bit lighter than my sky color. So I'm going to take some of that white that I have on my palette, and I'm going to push some of it towards my yellow, and then I'm going to pick up a little bit of yellow, and I'm going to make this kind of creamy color. Okay, and I'm rolling my brush between my fingers, just picking up that lighter color. And I'm going to decide where my sun is going to live. Okay, so I'm going to I don't know if you guys can see that because hopefully you can. I know the lettering there is kind of, okay, there we go. So I have this first coat of my sun, and I am gently bringing it just above my black. And again, you don't want to get in too big of a hurry here. You want to take your time because just like that, I went into the black of the ground there, which is totally fine. I'm not worried about it because I can always come back and cover that up. But I'm just going to gently get my corner in here, paint that in. So we kind of have that blazing sun right there. Again, I'm not worried if it's perfectly circle, if it's a perfect circle or half circle. I'm not worried about that because when everything comes together and we put everything in here, it's gonna, you won't even notice it whether it's a circle or not. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to decide about my tree. So I had a tree in the original. If I want my tree, another tree in here, maybe I'll put one on the other side. I'm not really sure. And maybe I'll have two trees. How about that? So again, I'm sticking with my medium round brush, my number 6 here brush. And I am just picking up black paint. I'm not doing any mixing. It's just strictly the black. And I'm going to put my trunk right here. And typically, I like to start wherever my trunk is going to to sit for the branches. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start right here, and I'm gently pushing down, not a whole lot of pressure, but I'm going to push down, and I'm going to go into my black right there. Depending on how thick you want it, you're going to want to repeat this on this side. Okay. And then whatever I have showing, I'm just going to fill in. And then making sure that my brush is coming to a point with the black paint. What I want to do now here is, again, with very little pressure, I'm going to be pulling branches out of this tree trunk. So, and I'm lifting my pressure as I come out. So I start out with like a medium pressure on this brush. And then I lift my pressure as I come out so that it ends up with a thin part. Starts out thick and ends thin. It's probably kind of hard for you guys to see from, let me see if I can turn this a little bit more so you can see that right there, it's thicker here and then gets thinner. So now I have that one. I'm just going to keep building on my branches here. And you can have as many as you want. Kind of have to think a little bit about how branches grow, how we see them come out of our trees. Okay. So I like the way this one is looking right now. So I'm going to do the same thing over here. I'm going to pick a spot where this guy is going to live. Just going to pull that line. Very little pressure on my brush. I'm going to give it a sister matching one. And then I'm going to fill in. Okay. I'm going to match these. Again, more pressure when I start, and then as I come out, I'm lifting that pressure so that it gets thinner. You don't have to have the same amount of branches on each tree. Again, nature tends to do its own thing, go where it wants to. It's never forced into typically doing what we always want it to do. So now that I have those branches, I am going to rinse this brush out. And now I'm going to pick up my next brush, which is the number 2 small round brush, wetting those bristles and just picking up some more black paint. Because now what I want to do, I want a smaller brush so that I can add smaller branches here. I have more control and I can control what happens. So here I'm just going to create a Y with this brush. Again, this is the amount of pressure you put on your brush creates the thickness of your line. Okay. I'm just going to do a couple here. Hey. All right. Can do as many as you want. No right or wrong, too many, too little. Just depends on how detailed you want to get. Okay, looks pretty good there, I think. So now I am going to go ahead and rinse my small round brush out. I'm going to jump back to that medium round. I'm going to get some more black paint on it. And now is the time I decide the foliage, the leaves on the trees, and where it's all going to live and hang out. You kind of have to, I kind of liken it to a piece of broccoli. So I'm going to come to the ends of my little Y's here, and I'm taking this brush and I'm just pressing the side of it, okay? And as I press, I'm leaving a little blob behind, okay? And I am overlapping and bouncing these little blobs all over, okay? And then I'm just making sure that I'm creating these broccoli thick areas. And then I'm thinking what I'd like to do is connect these two areas here. So I'm just going to add okay. Again, you don't want to keep these in the same line. You want to make some bigger, some smaller, some shorter, and then you can make some thicker, some thinner. And in this area, I'm going to also fill this area in because maybe there's a branch coming out this way that we don't really see from one of these main branches. So I'm just going to add foliage there. It's going to fill that tree in, make it look a little fuller. Okay? All right. So, going to finish these little trees and the foliage up real quick. And then the final step is going to show you the grass in the distance. Okay. All right, so I'm going to put some here. All right. Maybe there's a little one here too. So that our tree looks nice and full. And then I'm going to repeat this process on this side. Like so. So I just wanted to take a second here while I'm finishing this up and let you guys know that I do have some virtual paint parties starting next Saturday, April 11th, and every Saturday at 7 p.m. till the end of April, I am going to be hosting a painting party. So these are going to be longer sessions with different paintings, and we'll have some fun doing it, okay? So it's $15 per session, okay? And it'll be every Saturday night at 7. So I think it's the 11th, the 18th, and the 25th or 26th, something like that. The one on the 25th is actually going to be a glow in the dark event. And you don't have to have black lights, but if you do and you can put them up around your area where you're painting, it's going to be fantastic and a lot of fun. Yeah. So just wanted you guys to know that. And I'm also, I'm doing all of this via Zoom. So you'll be able to talk to me, ask me questions, and interact. And I will, once you purchase a ticket, you will be able to get access. You'll see what supplies you need. It's also in the descriptions of the event. So if you want to buy supplies, you can. And then once you, I get confirmation that your payment has processed, I send you the link to Zoom so you guys can just join in on Zoom that night. So I'm really excited about the glow in the dark one. I think it's going to be really, really fun. Okay. All right. So I am liking my trees so far. So I think what I'm going to do is I am going to go to the little grass that was around the trees. You don't have to put the grass in. You can, at this point, you can decide if you want something else in there. Maybe you want a silhouette of an elephant or another kind of animal, like a lion, something like that. Or you can do people. You know, just depends on how comfortable you are with your skills. So at this point, though, because I don't want the grass to be overwhelming, I am going to switch to my small round brush. And I'm going to pick up some black paint on that. And then again, this is just a matter of how much pressure you put on your brush. Okay, so I'm starting down into the black part of the silhouette here. And I'm going to lift and gently pull little blades of grass. And then I can come over this way and I might add a little bit more here. Now the blades of grass, you just want to make sure that they just kind of go in different directions, that they don't kind of all get, you know, clumped and going in various, you just don't want them lined up like little soldiers, right? So then I might skip a little bit of space here and I'm going to pull up some smaller ones here. You don't have to, you know, cover the whole line all the way across. You can put as much or as little as you want. Maybe I'll put some like right here. In particular, make sure that when you're going in front of your sun that area is dry enough for you to do this. Just because it will, if it's wet, it's going to blend. And if it picks up the sun color, and yeah, so just be mindful of that when you're coming across. Take your time. Okay, I'm going to come here, I'm going to put in a little bit taller grass here around the tree. Maybe it's getting a little bit more water. And then I think I'm going to take some off this way too as well, just because I like it to be a little bit fuller over here, a little more balanced. I've got some on that side. Okay. All right. I kind of like that. You could also put rocks in here. You can build up a few things in here, make it a little bit more detailed and fun and exciting. I do have this area in here where my son came down to kind of getting into the black, the silhouette here. So I'm just going to take my brush with a little bit more black on it, and I'm going to push across there, kind of just clean it up a little bit. And then the beauty of acrylics is when things are dry, you can paint right over the top of something. So all right. So that is pretty much doing the sunset with a little bit of the outline of the sun there that you can kind of see there. If you want to make that a little bit more prominent, you can always take some pure white with that little brush after you've rinsed it out and kind of outline this area just a little bit. Just give it a little bit of an outside glow there. You can also put some white inside of it if you want. So hopefully you can see that a little bit better there. All right, guys. So that is how you create a simple, easy, fun little sunset. Remember, acrylics need to be wet to blend. If they dry, they get tacky. It's not going to be easy to do. And of course, you can create any kind of silhouette you want and create any kind of scene you want after that. All right, guys. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions. You can hit those emoticons. Let me know if you liked it. That would be great and awesome. And again, I am doing virtual painting parties starting April 11th. If you visit Creatively Carrie on Facebook, you go to the events page there, my events page, you'll see all of my events there, and you'll be able to purchase tickets there as well. So great. It was so good to see all of you guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, and we will talk again real soon. Good night.